Hello, everyone. Welcome back to CNE Nintendo. Today we got a special video. We're going to take a look at all the Koopalings from Jakks Pacific, 2.5 inch and 4 inch. Here we got Wendy, which is one of the ones we got as a standalone. And to finish off this line, we really only need Morton. Morton here is made in a 1 inch in the micro series, and it's the only one missing in the 2.5 inch, which is going to be released later this year. Now, for those of you who know, this pack here that I'm about to show was just released from or was announced at Comic Con by Jakks Pacific a couple of months ago, and it has been exclusive to GameStop in the US. Now, we were lucky enough to get this one, and the reason we wanted it, even though we had most of the figures, was Iggy here. Those of you who have been looking online on eBay and such, Iggy is extremely expensive to get, especially if you live outside the US, because you have a bunch of import fees and shipping fees. So, in some cases, he will run up to around $200. Now, this is the first time he has been re-released, and we this pack was actually cheaper to get than get a standalone Iggy. So yeah, it was the most logical choice, and it's the most new one. The other one that is incredibly expensive is Roy Cooper here. This is the only way he has been released so far, and we decided to bite the bullet. Cash just called me one day and said, "Let's do it. I'm gonna sponsor some of it." And yeah, we decided to bite the bullet, and I think this was like $250 just to get this Roy Koopa. So yeah, it was interesting. Now, Lemmy here in this 2 pack, I was very interested in getting. You can get Lemmy as a standalone and would be cheaper, and he's not really that expensive. But if you want the ball, you need to buy this combo pack with Fire Mario. And Lemmy without the ball is just not interesting for me because it's so iconic. It's part of his system. And yeah, so I said, give me this 2 pack, and so I can get the ball. Now the ball does come with a see-through foot, so it's able to stand on its own with him on top. So that looks very great. So, but yeah, this is a very special series for me. As you can see, the 4 inches are in the background because this is one of the first videos that I actually made back on this channel was the Senai Koopalings that you can just see here in the bottom. But yeah, anyways, we're gonna open these 2.5 inch figures and then we're gonna take a look at them. Then we will open the 4 inch figures and then we'll take a look at those afterwards. So we should be back in a few seconds and yeah, wait up. So we finally got these opened, and Cash was helping in the background. You might be able to hear him a bit, but we will start by taking a look at Wendy here. She is one of the more interesting for me because she has a very unique design compared to all the other ones. And she does have a little mark here on her right leg, left leg, depending on how you look at it from. And she has very little articulate. She can move her hands, and the wand can, of course, be put into the hand. And they all come with their own wand, and you can adjust it. But the only one that does not have a wand is going to be Koopa Jr., which I'm a bit unsure as to why. But she is coming in a 4 inch later this year, and she will not be exclusive, so you should be able to get her at Amazon or any of the ones. Ludwig here has been released and been out for quite a while, and he doesn't have a lot of movement. He can only move his one arm. He can't even turn his head or anything. The one I have here, this is the one I got from that special pack the five pack, and his arm is actually kind of weird a little bit. You can kind of see into his arm. So, but he does have his blue wand, so that is actually pretty nice. This is one of my favorite Koopalings. Here we got Larry. I don't remember him having this hairstyle. It's a little off to the side. He can move both his hands, and which is weird that this one can also move his head, but Ludwig couldn't. Um, but yeah, he's a pretty cool one. This is actually one of the ones I have the most of in both 1 inch, 2.5 inch here. I also have him a 4 inch, and I actually have him as a older released one, which is from a very different line. So yeah, quite weird that this is actually the one that I have the most of. Then of course we got Koopa Jr. Now Koopa Jr. has also been released several times, and everyone has probably seen him. He has, I think this is the third or fourth time, including he's out in like a clown car. I know Cash has that one. It came like a battle pack, but yeah, you can take off his mask, you can move his head and stuff like that, and it's I didn't get the pack because of him. But here is one of the interesting one. Here's Lemmy with his ball. Now you don't see this often because he he is not able to stand on this ball very well, so you kind of need to adjust it a bit. It does have a small um, place you can put on, and he can't really stand. Also, the see-through foot is very how should we say it's very wobbly. It doesn't stick easy as you see. It kind of reminds me of the dry bone Koopa, 2.5 inch, and but yeah, I'm definitely gonna be gluing this together so he just stands. He's never gonna be falling off anymore. As you see, even under optimal conditions, it's actually difficult for him just to stand on his own. Last but not least, we have Roy. This is the most expensive and most interesting one because of that, because he's so rare. He has his black wand, and he has a little bit of movement. My biggest concern before spending so much money on this one was actually checking the photos to make sure the wand was there, because it's actually hidden behind him. His head can't move, of course, but just his arm, his one arm, and it's uh, it's kind of loose in his hand, so it kind of falls through. So I'm probably gonna have to find some way to do this one. We also missing this one in 4 inch, of course. He has not even been announced, so hopefully soon. Now we have Iggy here in 2.5 inch, and this is the last of the Koopalings that we have. And he can move his hands, but not feet or head. He had a difficult time standing because of his kind of hunched over, and you need his hand or a wand to kind of hold him, which I don't is probably intentional, but I don't like it because it really limits what kind of pose he can have. Of course, you can put some double sided tape to keep him standing, but yeah, I don't like this. For I would not recommend spending $100 on this guy on eBay for any reason whatsoever. I mean, the design is flawed in my opinion. Even if it was intentional, I don't think it was the right choice. And I really wish they had changed his pose before re-releasing him this time. But yeah, he's going to be standing like this on my shelf forever, and it's going to be looking like he's pointing down. Moving on to the 4 inch ones, we have four of these, and this is a bunch of mixed waves because they came out at various points in time. We haven't really been opening these. We kind of wanted to save them for this occasion. So they've been standing on the shelf for a few years. Now, Cash is going to open these here in a few seconds. And here you see Iggy and Lemmy. And then we have Ludwig. And of course, Larry, who's coming here. So we will open these quick. And we are going to compare them to the small ones. We're, of course, missing Wendy. We are also missing Roy, which Wendy has been announced, but Roy has not been yet. So hopefully they will be announced soon. Also, Morton would hopefully also be released, but yeah. So one moment. So as you can see now, we now opened them, and they're standing next to their 2.5-inch counterparts. These were a lot easier to open than the 2.5-inch, with the exception of Iggy here. Iggy's hairstyle here was stuck in the plastic, so it almost broke off a few times when we tried to get it out, and we actually had to cut away the plastic. Now, overall, with all the 4 inches, they're very articulate like this. You can move feet, hand, arms, and he stands a lot better than the 2.5-inch ones. He's not hunched over, so he can actually stand up like normal. And here you can kind of see the difference in the stance. And I don't understand why they made the 2.5-inch one stand hunched over like this, whereas the 4-inch ones was so different in this one. You can also see the coloring is a little bit off. You can see they're made in different years, but still, again, sorry, I'm on a tangent with this hunched over stance. I apologize, but that's not to say I do not love these. These are great. I love the Koopalings. So, but yeah, let me just get this standing properly. So without blocking the camera here. So yeah. Next, we're gonna take a look at Ludwig. This is the favorite of my 4-inch ones so far. Again, he is very articulate, at least compared to the 2.5-inch ones. Now, here the wand is actually stuck. There is no room to move it up and down. So once you put it in, it is there. The small ones could run through his hand like you saw with Roy and stuff like that, and you can kind of move it around. If it falls, there's a chance that the small wand will be lost somehow. But on the big ones, no. Head is also not movable on this one though, so I don't know why. So they're a bit difficult to get to stand on this one. Anyways, on to Lemmy. Lemmy is this one is from EU. So it has the famous C mark on the backside, which is not it's not there on the US ones. But he has doesn't have much movement. The wand is, I don't know. It seems bigger. I think they just made all the wands the same size and just changed the color. And I'm a bit upset it doesn't come with the ball as well. Um, as that for me, Lemmy without a ball is just not Lemmy, and that's why that 2.5-inch one for me is just better for me. Um, it's his trademark. It's like removing the star from Morton or the sunglasses from Roy. Now on to Larry. He's the last one in our 4-inch that we have so far. Of course, we are waiting for Roy and Morton, with Wendy being out later. Now, I'm actually a bit surprised. I didn't know he had a star tattoo on the back of his head. I've never noticed that before. I'm actually curious if that was something that was added, like with the new Super Mario Brothers games, because I don't remember it in the cartoons. Yeah, just comparing them to the 2.5-inch, the coloring on the 2.5 is a bit off compared to the 4-inch ones. And if you take a look at the micro one, the 1-inch ones, you can also see it's very darker here compared to the one. So, and that was a trend This is the unofficial one, or not older version that I found at a flea market many years ago. I have no idea what wave or what this is from, but if anyone knows, please put it in the comment because I'm very curious if there are more in this. But that's the Koopalings from Jakks Pacific, the 4-inch and the 2.5-inch ones. We are, of course, hoping to get a closer look at some of these once the 4-inch line is complete, as well as the 2.5-inch line. Because once they're out, we will make a very dedicated video to each of these. I just wanted to get both of these up immediately. But yeah, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. It helps this channel grow. And yeah, this is very expensive collection so far. I didn't expect to use this on small toys, but thanks for watching. Bye bye.